Hi everyone, welcome again to Thisisfootball.Africa, and it's Peter du Toit and Rob Moore saying it like it is. Before we start, guys, please don't forget to like and to subscribe and to comment and also share with your friends. The more people watch this and know about it, the more shows we can do. Right, today we're going to discuss Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns. Last week we spoke about Chiefs' performance so far this season. And if we look at Pirates, I think when we spoke about Pirates before the season started, I said I see them challenging Mamelodi Sundowns. I felt they had a good enough squad. I thought they signed good players, and I really felt that they can give Sundowns a run for their money. That hasn't been proved correct. Rob also felt they would do rather well, but spoke how critical their start will be, and that was his caveat, and it looks like Rob got that one pretty right. Rob, just your initial comments, and then I can discuss your thoughts.
Peter, to be honest, I mean it's been a huge. It's been disappointing for me because the way they ended off the season last year, or the from January of 2023 till May, they were really good, and I thought that this was the foundations and the basis for being able to run Sundowns closer this year. But, they haven't picked up from where they left off. I really had hoped they'd go toe-to-toe, challenging at least in the first half of the season. And just looking at where things are going, you ask yourself why. And at the end of the day, you can't win matches unless you score goals. They've only twice in the league scored 2 goals or more in a game. The first game of the season, I think they scored 3 or 4. The third game of the season, which was the end of August, they scored 2. And since that, they haven't scored more than 1 league goal in a game. And that is just not good enough. Is it finishing? Is it lack of goal creation? Is it lack of quality attackers? Their 3 forwards, Masangai has got 2 goals in 11 games. Magopa has got 2 goals in 8 games. And from open play, i.e. Not penalties, not including penalties, Lepasa's got 2 goals in 8 games. That isn't good enough. The guy who plays 11 should have 6 goals at least. If you've played 8 appearances, you should be looking at 4 to 5 goals. And you need 2 of the 3 to sort of be firing on reasonable cylinders, or you need one guy to just go out the blocks like Harry Kane has gone out the box at Bayern Munich and is averaging more than a goal a game. And this isn't happening. And that's, for me, you can't win games and mount a challenge unless you score.
Correct. They've only averaged 1 goal a game. Rob, I think the problems with Pirates are bigger than I think the result of the problems at Pirates is not scoring goals. So Pirates have gone backwards since last season. That's clear at this stage of the season anyway, and hopefully they'll recover. But we're only talking about after 11 games. So they've gone backwards. The question, you brought up the lack of goals. So you talk about strikers. They've got the 2 Bafana strikers playing for them. So the management has gone out and got the players. There's no discussion there. Pirates' squad, if you look at the players and the size of their squad, Pirates have got a squad, I still maintain, have got a squad good enough to challenge Mamelodi Sundowns. They may not, they certainly a squad good enough to give them a good run for their money. And at the moment, they haven't. Secondly, Pirates, like Chiefs, haven't won a league title for an age. It's 11 seasons since Pirates won a league title, and that's out of order. But again, I wouldn't point fingers at management because they've spent the money. They've got players. They've got some of the best players in the country playing for them. So where is the problem? Now, I did say that this is going to be a big season for Jose Riveira because can he take it to the next level? At this stage, you've got to say he hasn't. Now, I don't believe it's just the lack of goal scoring. I watch majority of Pirates games, and when you watch Pirates play, there's a kind of haphazardness in their play. There's a lot of talk about teams playing against a low block. These terms are just different terms for that were used in the old days, saying park in the bus. There was the one, now it's the low block. Before park in the bus, it means they defended 9 men behind the ball. These are just terms. From day one of football, good teams have had to work out how to beat teams who play defensively. This is not something new. So Man City faces every single week. Real Madrid faces, or Sundowns faces every single week. So I'm tired of hearing about the coach saying, "Well, we had to play against a low block and we missed chances." By the way, if you watch top level football, you watch in the Premier League, they miss chances as well. Missing chances is part of football. Making mistakes is part of football. Defensively, giving the ball away is part of football, and facing low blocks if you're a good team. That's all part of football. So why has there not been improvement in Pirates, in my opinion? First of all, there's one question I want to ask: is why did they sign Kapinga from Sundowns if they don't play him? Now, you and I don't know the background there. Maybe he's a bad trainer. Maybe he's a bad influence. We certainly haven't heard anything. He came on, or I can't remember if he started, but came on against Sundowns, and he did well. I think he's a player that can get other players playing. And if I look at the Pirates side, and if you compare it to something like Sundowns players, when they play, they've got enough players who make other players better. And that's a sign of a quality team. Chiefs don't have it either. Temba Zwane makes other players better. Mokwena makes other players better. The goalkeeper, Williams, makes other players better. So you need players. Peter the Great, as I call him, makes other players better. He makes the right run. So it's lacking at Chiefs as well, but it's certainly lacking at Pirates, who look like they can make other players better. It seems to be they rush while they're playing. The ball gets given away easily. They fluff. Their first touch is not good. It looks like a team that hasn't played together, and it looks like a team that is struggling to find their right shape and their right formations and so on and so forth. Now, at the end of the day, I don't like blaming a coach because it's a very easy target. And I'm not saying the coach's fault. There may be stuff behind the scenes that we don't know about. But ultimately, the coach is responsible for the performance of players. And if you can look at two simple examples, your old team Ajax Cape Town, when Fop de Haan joined that club, within a very short period of time, the playing style was transformed, and the exact same players were unrecognizable the next season. And he was one of the best coaches I've seen. Sure, it came off a good base with Mush and Ertugrul getting them well organized. Look at Spurs in the English Premier League. Mourinho was there. The Italian Conte was there. An unknown coach comes in. I never pronounce his name, but what's his surname for me?
Transforms them.
Comes in, and he comes from a smaller league, Celtic, and that's a completely transformed side. So the influence of a coach is huge. Riveira's challenge as a coach, he's got to get it right quickly. He's got to get the right 11 players playing. If you look at, we talk about Sundowns, you'll see that they have a consistent team, generally speaking. Pirates team is not that consistent. Saleng, as you mentioned last time, I said Saleng, Lorch, and Kapinga, they've never really played together. And they've never Saleng's not the same player he was last season. Lorch obviously has got his problems with his court case and that, and his injuries. But and Kapinga hasn't given a chance. So I don't think they know their best system. Tim is not playing regularly. He was a superb last season. So Riveira's got to get it right. He's got to put his hand up and say it's his responsibility, and he's got to fix it. After the match on the weekend against Richards Bay, another unfortunate draw, his comments were, well, you know, it's the same old story. We're playing against a low block and we miss chances. That's part of the game. That happens every time. That's not an excuse. Fix it. Yeah. So the bottom line is Riveira's got to fix it. And if he can't, he must go. Or if there are other issues behind the scene that people are picking teams for him or interfering, then he's got to say that as well. But it can't carry on like this. Their performance is not good enough. Their new signings have flattered to deceive. There's another factor. A lot of players over 30. I think there's 7 members of that squad who are over 30. And maybe some of them have seen better days. Let me go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, more. 9 players. 9 players over 30, if I'm correct here. So maybe that's part of the problem.
So Peter, I'm going to put you on the spot. Put you on the spot. How long do you give Riveira to improve?
Well, depends what you call improvement. By the way, there's more than 9 players. I think it's 12 players over 30. Improving consists of 2 things. One, they've got to play better, and that to the level that even if they lose, the fans say, you know what, we don't mind losing that way. We were superb. That's the one thing. That's the first thing you've got to see. The second thing, you've got to see them winning games after that. And they've gone downhill since last season. So they've got to get back to where they were last season with a structured team that starts playing better. And by halfway through the season, at the halfway mark, if they're still if they're not in the top 4-5 positions and looking like they're actually going to make a late run, which I think they did last season, I can't remember correctly. Then
second half they were
unfortunately,
really strong.
Did they finish strongly? I can't remember.
So you say.
So that's going to be a big
So for you, the litmus test is come the break of the fixtures for the Nations Cup. If they're not in the top 4 positions, then management need to reevaluate where they're heading.
Yeah, look, they've won 3 games at home. They've drawn 1 and lost 1. Away from home, they've lost 1, drawn 3. Sorry, won 1, lost 2, and drawn 3. So their away form is very poor. Their home form is nothing to look forward to. So something's got to change. You can't get rid of the players. And they've got a decent squad. There's experience there and youth and quality. So they've got good keepers. They've got the players. Something's wrong. Either the players aren't responding to the guy or he doesn't know what he's doing. He seems like a lovely guy. I don't know him personally. I've never had a conversation with him. And I wouldn't like to see a coach just lose their job. So I hope he gets it right. But something's wrong. Something's very big wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I don't think they've got
I want to ask.
Have they got? What's that, Peter?
My question is why don't they play Kapinga? That's my question. They signed him. He's a player. The interesting thing about Kapinga, you can play through him. He's always available for a pass. You can play through him. He can be the fulcrum of your team. Obviously, that can't be forever because.
But then, if you're playing against Peter, if you're playing against low block teams. The art of playing against low block teams is Barcelona in their heyday faced low block every single game. As you say, Man City, most games now, they face the same. Bayern Munich, all the big teams face that. Okay? And who?
Yeah. And Sundowns.
Yeah. So the art of the whole thing is, and this is where the coach's vision has got to come in, you've got to, I watched Barcelona a lot in that time because I was living in Barcelona those years. People would say it was tippy-tappy football that Pep played, but it wasn't. It was side to side, stretching teams with them not having a touch of the ball for long portions of a game. It's very difficult to keep moving your unit defensively for 4, 5, 6 minutes. Or 5 minutes without a ball. And because something is going to give. And the best sides wait for that split second where something has given. And an opening happens. And you then can thread it through. And the guy running onto it also saw that opening was there. And he went. And then Barcelona, you'd have a tap in. People say, they scored tap in goals. They scored tap in goals because of the intelligence of how they played leading up to that goal and how they were able to stretch teams on low blocks or park in the bus, whatever they were doing, they were able to do it. Now, Riveira has to work out how to do that. And he's got and as you say, Kapinga, if Kapinga is what I like to call a locksmith midfielder, like for me, David Silva, when he was in his prime at City, Man City was a locksmith midfielder. Xavi, Iniesta, they just knew how to unpick a defense with one split second pass because the gap was there. Now, if you tell me if Kapinga is that type of midfielder and a lot can go through him, or maybe they have someone else who can do that job, that guy's got to be in the heart of it all. That type of player has to be in the heart of it all, pulling the strings.
Correct. I at least give him a chance, or find a formation that suits your team, and the proof of whether it suits the team is how well they play, and how well they play is not a coach saying we played very well. It's the fans saying, you know what, we didn't mind losing that game because we are absolutely outstanding, And having
Yeah.
possession, by the way, having possession is a big misnomer in football. Passing the ball around is a big misnomer. Your possession and your passing has got to be structured so that when you're passing the ball, the players understand the ball is not being passed for the sake of it. It's passed for reasons to maneuver the other team. And when I watch South African football, Sundowns, you can see they're moving the ball around to move the other team. And the second they see an opportunity, bang. It's modern football. When I see Pirates moving the ball around, it's moved to go wide, and then a cross comes in, and first of all, no one can hit the ball up front there, but it's almost without thinking. It doesn't seem like there's a thought behind the process. There's no almost like low level tactics behind it. And if I'm being very, very harsh on the coach, I'm sorry. I'm saying what I see. A team of the Pirates need to start playing clever football when they've got the ball, keeping possession, waiting for the right opportunity, and not just keeping possession for the sake of it. And when that opportunity is there, it can be that tap in, because that means you create that opportunity properly. And they will miss chances. That's South African football and that's world football. But making excuses about low blocks, there've been low blocks against big teams forever, and Pirates have got to change it. The bottom line is Orlando Pirates fans have been very, very patient with their team, and they deserve better than what they're getting, and it needs to change. Simple as that. And I think the management realize that, and I know the Pirates management, they're very patient and they're good with their coaches, but they need to up their game, the coaches. Rob, Mamelodi Sundowns. It's a different kettle of fish here. I mean, I'm so proud of as a South African, what Mamelodi Sundowns have achieved in the PSL and on the continent. I give them a 10 out of 10, quite frankly. Whatever we said about them, everybody's got to beat them. But I think that club and Rhulani Mokwena, the coach, and the players, you cannot fault them. And I think in particular, Rhulani, difficult job following Pitso. He's made them a better side. And just a couple of points I want to make before I ask you. 9 of their players have played 7 games. 3 have played 6. 2 have played 3. So you're talking about, just forget the one who played 3. 12 players have played in almost every single game. So there's a consistency. It's not a case where they get so many players and they can field 3 teams. They have a consistent team. They know their best team, and that team delivers. They won 6 league titles in a row. I mean, they dominating you. There's no discussion about it. They are proud. They are pride of African football. They're one of the top teams in Africa. Yeah. I think Sundowns. You'd be able to answer this better than me. I think Sundowns could compete in most of you take out the top 4 leagues in the world in Europe. I think Sundowns could compete in Portugal, Belgium, even Holland, maybe even the French league. And when I say compete, I'm talking about being at least mid-table. But maybe you would be better than me.
Yeah, I Peter, like you, I'm tremendously proud with what they've done on the continent. I mean, as a South African, you're always looking and you're seeing the individual success stories of West African players more than South African players. You look at the collective successes of the North African clubs historically in the big African club tournaments. And you were like a little bit in awe of those kind of clubs, your Achlis, there's no doubt about it now. Sundowns is right up there. They are the feared club on the continent. Okay. And I think that is a tremendous achievement that the club has achieved. It's a machine. It just gets better and better. They don't stand still. They're always looking to strengthen, to plug in new pieces. They've got a special character. I mean, Peter, people say, well, you got money, you can achieve anything. I don't believe that. No. I mean, Man City had money before Pep came, and they've been far more successful since Pep's been there than they were prior to that. You've got Chelsea. They spent the most money out of any club in the world, and look at them. It's not
Man
about
United,
money.
Man United spend a fortune. Look at them.
Yeah, it's not about money. It's about good use of money, i.e., good recruitment, and then and that recruitment's based on team need, not team greed. And you've got then you've got to mold these teams together. And the difficult thing is keeping a talented dressing room motivated and happy. I mean, at the end of the day, you get players who go to a club that's hugely successful, but if they're not playing in the first year or two, it's a novelty to win trophies and you like it, particularly if you come from a club who hasn't won many trophies. But from halfway through the second year, or certainly from the beginning of the third year, it's a big issue to keep players motivated who are maybe not playing as regularly as they want to. But you need a big squad and you need a good squad. So you've got to manage their dressing room, and they've done that well. They've won the league 6 times in a row, as you say. They're going for the 7th. Only the next best after that has been 3 in a row. So Sundowns are 6 in a row. The next best is 3. Who's achieved 3? Sundowns, 97 to 2000. Different era, different type, different team. And Supersport, 2007 to 2010. And then the next best after that is only, again, 2 in a row, Sundowns, and Pirates and Chiefs have done it once. Pirates in 2010 to 2012, Chiefs from 2003 to 2005. So if it's that easy to repeat all the time, then why haven't more clubs done it for longer spells? It's because they've got a special character. They've got a DNA that they've instilled into their club, Sundowns, that is just an expectation of winning, but not resting on laurels and saying we just need to turn up. It's an expectation that they will win based on the fact that we're well trained, we will carry out the game plan, the game plan is correct, and therefore if we do all these things correctly, we will be successful. And that is a tremendous mindset to have. And then, the last thing I'd like to just point out again, and okay, people are going to say I'm biased, but again, you must look at Ronwen Williams and obviously his defense. You've got to look at it. So many clean sheets, 5 clean sheets in 7 PSL appearances, 1 goal conceded in 6 games in the African Football League, including 2 clean sheets, home and away against Al Ahly. The absolute also top team of Africa. 2 clean sheets. 1 goal in 2 games in Africa Champions League. Only Wyatt has been able to score more than 1 goal past Sundowns in a match. So this whole season. So, kudos to Ronwen for again being exceptionally consistent, but also to his defense. They're organized, they play as a good unit, and they're really very difficult to score against, So as much as you need to score goals to win games, you got to not concede in order not to lose. So, and that's, I like Sundowns. I think they're a tremendous advert for South African football.
And they've done it with a South African coach.
Yeah.
If you look at the teams, they've always said, well, Sundowns brought in Johan Neeskens, who let's be honest here, he was assistant coach to Frank Rijkaard at Barcelona when they started their winning the Champions Leagues and winning their league. So you've got to be pretty good at your game to be assistant coach at Barcelona when Barcelona were at their peak. I think Neeskens also went to Galatasaray. I think he may have coached the team there.
Yeah, he's been around.
He was with the Dutch national team as assistant coach. He may have been caretaker coach. Yet he struggled at Sundowns. Stoichkov, a great player, also at Barcelona. So, but it took Pitso Mosimane initially to turn the boat around. And then I think Rhulani's taken it on to another level. I think the team's a better team now. They're probably more structured, certainly defensively. They're great going forward. He's taken them to another level. I think they will become invincible this season. They'll only, if they lose a game this season, it'll be because of themselves. maybe taking a foot off the pedal. But if you can get them just playing one game at a time, I think they can go unbeaten this season. There's no limit to what this team can achieve.
100%. I mean, it's just constantly now the next challenge. So what is the next challenge? The next challenge would be to try and make a World Club Cup final,
Yeah.
and become I don't know, I think possibly the first African team to be in a World Club Cup final. I'm not sure.
No,
but
we haven't
certainly haven't been many.
Finals, but not in the final. Not that I can think of.
Yeah.
But
So
as hard as that is, if there's going to be a team that could possibly do it, it could be Sundowns. But that I agree with you. That would be because that would put our football at another level. There would be a huge respect. So while we're on the subject of Sundowns, they won the first African Football League. I watched the games. I thought the first game was a superb game of football, by the way. And then at home, Sundowns did what they had to do. Wonderful to see a big crowd there. They played a smart game, clever football. They showed their quality, top-class performance. But the African Football League is sort of the tournament per se wasn't what we expected as from an entire point of view. What are your thoughts on the African Football League, Rob?
Peter, I like new things. I like progression and new things. So it ticks that box that it's progressive and new, but the tick is faint. It's not a solid tick. Because why do I say that? Because it'll become a solid tick if what they say comes true. And CAF said that this is a tournament that will be a forerunner to a 24-team Super League next season, season 24-25. It was meant to be this season. It wasn't. They weren't able to get it right. They put a smaller tournament together, and they say that this will be for the start of Super League next year. They must achieve that. They must, because if they don't achieve that, Peter, this tournament was a nice to have, but no, it would be a tournament by invitation only. It would have no significant standing, in my opinion. If it only exists like this and doesn't progress onto the level that we all expecting it to progress onto a full-on Super League, then it becomes an invitation tournament, no different to what Iwiza Charity Spectacular is to South African football.
Yeah.
I mean, I like progression and I like positivity. So I'm really hoping that they can achieve what they need to achieve to launch this league. But if I look at a couple of the things, I would say my disappointment, couldn't get the sponsors. I don't understand it, okay? The second thing is I didn't find any TV coverage of this in Europe. And for me, this was a lost shop window opportunity.
Yeah.
You want to put your African Football League on television sets throughout the world so that when you then go to your sponsors for the African Super League launch next year, in your sales presentation kit we drew a global audience of X to watch our games. So suddenly you're then approaching your Coca-Colas, you're approaching your global companies, and you're saying to them, my product delivers you X amount of eyeballs around the world. And for me, that was a lost opportunity. It wasn't achieved. Okay?
Yeah.
The other disappointment was 6 of the 8 clubs in my book were deserving to be there. Okay? But I think 2 of them in particular, Simba and Petro de Luanda, had no business being there based on any historical significance of what they've achieved in Africa's premier tournaments in the past. Wino Setif of Algeria, who was the most recent other winner. When I say other winner, the Champions League of CAF has been, over the last 10, 12 years, dominated by a couple of teams, 3 or 4 teams. So they were one of the other winners. Okay, they won it once in 2014, and they were, and then another one. Or if you then look at cup finalists since the year 2000, for example, Italy of Tunisia won it in 2007 and twice runners up. Zamalek won it once and were twice runners up. So at the end of the day, two of those three should have been in place of Simba and Petra. So that disappointed me, you know?
Yeah. I think, Rob, that it's in theory a fantastic idea. I think in practice it's going to be something very hard to put together for lots of reasons. And obviously, one is finances. Number two is getting clubs buying. Three are the fixture dates. And I think, and fear of the clubs that this will lower the value of their own leagues. And I think a possible solution is that CAF does away with the Champions League as it currently stands, and all the cup competitions, and they create the African Football League as the competition that replaces both of them. And it's the format. It starts with regional, and then the regional winners get into a league format for maybe the last 10 teams, and that plays in a proper league, or 12 teams, and they play on a home and away basis. But you get a Champions League spot, and say it could be, like they do in Europe, top 4 teams from South Africa, top 2 from that league, 1 from that league, and so on and so forth. And they go into this mini Champions League, and it gets till they get to the final 12 teams or 10 teams, and then that goes into a league basis, and then you got the 2 best teams play against each other. So because then it does away with the problem with the fixtures. It doesn't create us and them scenario where the big teams are all playing in their own league and the other teams are, and then lowers the value of the rest of the leagues. And you get everybody getting in the team on in the league on a merit basis, and the top 10 or 12 teams then playing a proper league basis, and that lasts for half the season. So and then as that develops, they could maybe make it for longer and so on and so forth. But while we've got 2 cup competitions already, it's very difficult to fit this one in. But I'm glad it's happened.
Peter, you're right.
Step in the right.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, I didn't for 1 minute think that the African Champions League was going to survive with the launch of the African Super League. I mean, because we're talking about the Super League in Europe was different in that it was a breakaway league run and controlled by the clubs. The African Super League is something that CAF is driving.
And FIFA.
So it's a totally different ballgame. They're creating, so they've got to eliminate one product in order to make space for what they say is going to be a premier tournament. Okay, I agree with you that you could then have a stage like they do in Europe, where the Champions League and the Europa League run parallel, and at a certain point, only X number of teams progress through to the knockout rounds of the Champions League, and the best third place teams join in at Europa League level, so that you could create some sort of 2-tier system that way. But important for me, Peter, important for me is 2 things. It cannot be a closed shop where certain clubs have got a divine right every year. They're in it. Every club who is in it year to year must be there because they've earned it based on whatever system they're going to put in place. A ranking system, a point system, a FIFA ranking of clubs, CAF ranking of clubs, whatever it may be. But it's a ranking system.
In South Africa, the top 4 teams. And if SuperSport get it and one of the big 3 don't, that's it. Sort your act out.
But Peter, I would go further. I don't believe that geography must automatically give you a ticket into the tournament. If it's a super league, it must have super clubs, and it must have the best clubs. It's that simple. And if that means there's more Egyptian teams than South Africans, or more Tunisian teams than South Africans, then so be it. Because if they are the super clubs historically, because what is
Yeah.
it going to do then, Peter? It's going to force. I mean, Sundowns spent a lot of money the last couple of years. They obviously knew a tournament like this is a reality. They wanted to make sure they would be at the table. Okay,
Mm.
and being at the table means they had to win the tournament and be a semi. You know, they became a continental powerhouse team. So
Mm.
if there's no divine right to entry based on geography, it's going to force the clubs like Chiefs and Pirates to say, if we want to be at that table with the best, with the big bucks, we have to spend and
Correct.
and then be successful in whatever tournaments it's going to be that's going to give us access to that seat at the table, and that can only be good for football.
Rob, it's very simple. And our heads of football must start getting their heads out of the ground like ostriches. The bottom line is this. Yesterday on TV, Spurs versus Aston Villa,
Aston
Golden
Villa.
Arrows versus Golden Arrows versus Cape Town City. I watched both games. There must have been a couple of hundred people at the Golden Arrows Cape Town City game. Cape Town City are in the top three. Golden Arrows are supposed to be a decent footballing team. It was a little bit misty. It wasn't raining. No one was interested in the game. And I can tell you the TV audience more was watching Premier League than they. So you cannot kid yourself. We either got to make the Cape Town City Golden Arrows game a better game, and I'm not sure how you do that, because the paying public are going to go where they can get the best value. So at some stage, we're going to lose TV sponsorship. It's really as simple as that. And when you lose TV sponsorship, you lose shirt sponsorship, etc., etc. We've got to do something in South Africa and in Africa, because the young guys today are not going to games with their parents. They're watching games on their phone, and they're watching highlights. And they're going, first port of call is digital, and they're going where everybody else goes, Premier League first. And if we're not careful, a game, it's like we'll before we know it, we'll be watching 2-3 games a season when the big teams play, and the rest we'll be watching overseas football. And eventually that just ends. Mm-hmm. Creating an African football league should be able to bring in big players from overseas, like the Saudis have done. Not to that kind of level, but at least get in to another level. And I don't think we've got an option. We've got to go with the tide, and the world's changing, and the youngsters are going to change. In the old days, you could only watch South African football. These guys have got a choice of any football, and we've got to do something to get their eyeballs into our football as well. And it's not just when Chiefs Pirates play each other, and Chiefs play Sundowns and Pirates play Sundowns. It's got to be across the board. Chiefs play Swallows at the same time. Third of the stadium, third full. 2 local clubs.
Yeah.
If that doesn't tell you something, if you're at a restaurant and it was not full, people all going across the road, eating Italian food, and you're selling South African food, you maybe say, well, maybe we should start selling Italian food as well. So we can kid ourselves. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
You're a club owner, Rob. Would you have supported a African Football League as an Ajax Cape Town owner, knowing you were not going to be invited? Honestly.
Yes, because it would be. I would want to be involved, so I would then do what I needed to do to try get there.
But if they said to you it's invitation only, you're not going to get in.
If it's invitation only, no, because I think
Correct.
You have to have a format where people can dream, where people have a chance to win the lottery, But if you don't buy a ticket for the lottery, you don't win it.
Or if you're told you can't have a ticket for the lottery. So the big mistake with the African Football League right now is it's an invitation league, the big teams only, and you as a club owner, and if I was a club owner, I'd be going, hang on, guys, you're telling me to say yes to this, but I've got no chance of being involved. Why should I support you? Where's my benefit?
Exactly.
And that's
why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that there must be a clear way how the Super League teams qualify each year. and no one must. One of the big mistakes of the European Super League was that there were going to be like these founder members who would, whatever happens and
Yes.
whatever happens with their performance level in that tournament, they would stay. Like American sport, there was no falling out of the bottom because they were founders.
Yeah.
That mustn't happen. That mustn't happen.
No.
So
No, of course not.
so there must be a
Football-
clear way that you can get into this. And then secondly, you mustn't get a free ride based on geography. You must get in because you're a good team and you deserve to be there. And that's it,
Good. So, guys, Patrice Motsepe, if you're listening to Rob and I, don't make it an invitation only. Make some changes. We want this to work, but a lot more. I think you've got to get back to the drawing board. Guys, thanks very much.
But congratulations for bringing it and having a concept of high level, good clubs playing against each other.
100%. Get Rob on board with you, Patrice. Guys, thanks very much. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and to comment, and also to share with your friends. And we'll be back soon with some other hot topics. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Cheers.